Don't pull apart probable and possible. Don't mix those two up, okay? Because it's probable is not the same as is it possible. You just have to look around. Has someone done it? Yes or no? If someone's done it, then it's definitely possible.
What up, y'all? Welcome to the On the PRST Podcast. We're actually in Atlanta.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? I'm with my guy right here. Now, this dude, well, first of all, before I even introduce it to you guys know what it is. On the PRST Podcast, right? We connect with entrepreneurs, movers, shakers, people that are doing amazing things, right? That are making an impact in culture and in the marketplace. And like I said, I'm in Atlanta. Had to pull up. Now, this guy's in a mastermind that I'm in.
Yep.
And we were just talking off camera that if it wasn't for the internet and things like the mastermind, we wouldn't even met.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to introduce you to Mr. New Skills, New You.
Yes, sir.
And if you know this guy for 30 seconds, that's how he's going to introduce himself every single time. You know what I'm saying? So Mr. Bruce Hill.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the podcast, bro. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. My pleasure.
And sometimes you guys got to pull up to make it happen because we could have did it virtually. And he was actually on my other show, Imperfect Action,
True.
which was virtual.
It was.
So it's only right that we do it in person this time. So yeah, man, welcome to the podcast. I'm excited to have you on, continue the conversation, things like that. So much that we could talk about.
There's a lot we could talk about.
So let's talk, why don't we do something different on this episode? Why don't we start from the most recent thing and then go back in? So
I go backwards.
So recently, you just released a book.
Yeah.
So why don't we touch on that real quick? So tell us about the book, what you got going on.
But you know the first thing I'm gonna say though, right? It's Bruce Hill, New Skills, New You.
See, told y'all.
I help entrepreneurs hear yes more often. So one of the things I love to do is practice what I preach. So I read this book, All Gas, No Brakes. And I think we get distracted because if you look at my bio, it says sales trainer, but it's not about the money. And so if you even read this book, I collaborated with some great friends of mine. It's not about making more money. That might be a byproduct, but it really is about creating a life that you don't need a break from. So it's BREAK, right?
Yeah.
Not breaks, but breaks.
Yeah. I dig it.
You want to keep going. Like you want to be excited when you wake up. And that's the type of life I'm trying to live.
What was the excitement around you making the book though? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of clients that I work with, which is actually why I created this strategy, which, you know, you and I were in a webinar.
Yeah, that was fire.
We went over the entire strategy. But in the beginning, like there was just a part of it. So the reason why I did the strategy, or at least I had the idea for it, is because when it came to talk about entrepreneurs making books, there was a lot of anxiety. How can I write it? What's the process? I'm not a writer. I don't got the money for it. It's going to take, there's all these different barriers that they were putting up in front of themselves. So I'm like, well, if I can make you some money in 7 to 14 days, would that then encourage you to write a book? And it was like, yeah, that would. So for you, what was your process? How long did it take you to wrap your mind around actually creating a book? Is it something that you wanted to do? And then, you know, what did it look like for you? Because you, like you said, you doing things that make you happy.
It's three things. It's often three things. So first of all, I really didn't plan on writing a book. It wasn't a priority for me. I can
definitely empathize with that. Yeah.
And, you know, there's so many ways to contribute my knowledge. There's so many ways to add value. I'm like, I'll leave that for someone else. So number two, I try and lead by example. And I kept hearing people I talked to, I worked with, I lived next to. They're like, I want to write a book. And so I'm like, so start typing. It's easy. Yeah. But it's tough to tell someone something's easy.
If you ain't do it.
And you ain't even done it. So number three is one new skills, new you, right? One new skill will change your life. So I'm like, I'm going to learn how to write a book. And it's done. That's it. Like I decided, I do it. There's nothing else to it. That's really how I operate New Skills New You, is not to go and try to write a 600-page, 8-series book. Like, look, we're just going to write one book and then we're going to write the next one. It's going to be even better.
100%. So your process of doing it, right? Was it daunting or did you just kind of figure it out? Because I want people to really get it.
Oh, right? Okay. Let's break it down.
I want people to really get it. So get busy, look at your main camera, because I want them to like feel it, you know what I'm saying? But was it a daunting process?
No, it's easy. So there's three things, what I say, there's three things I use to conquer any skill at all. First of all, I read about people who've done it before. Number two, I start as small as possible, the smallest increment that's forward progress. And the last but most important is I get a coach. I get someone to walk me through it. Oh, Bruce, I can watch a YouTube video. I can Google this. That's true, but you can't get feedback from YouTube. So shout out to Vision Avant on Instagram. That's my coach. And actually, I got this t-shirt. I'm like, yo, write a book and get a t-shirt? That's a good deal.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
she made it so seamless, so simple, and almost easy. The only thing I had to do was execute. So there wasn't any figuring. I don't like figuring things out.
Yeah.
I don't like figuring things out. I will pay someone for the time and experience to teach me how to do it right the first time. Because I spent so much time figuring things out.
Yeah.
It's made me a little rough around the edges.
Well, people feel like they would rather not spend the money and figure it out, but on their own. But what you really come to realize is that you spend so much more time.
That's
and
too
you run
expensive.
into way more hurdles. So it's actually cheaper if you spend the money now, get the result, figure it out, get the lesson, pivot if you need to, and then get to where you want to go. And you save all that time. So then if you're selling something, you have way more time to market and make money.
Focus on what you're good at. That's how I help entrepreneurs. I don't want to teach them to be sales folks. So if you go into my bio, it's New Skills, New You. It says I teach sales skills entrepreneurs, but it's not about making you a sales warrior. I want you to be the best version of you that makes more money, that spends more time doing what you want to do, that spends more time adding your particular magic to the world. So there's three currencies. I told you.
Another three. You know what I'm saying?
It's time, it's energy, and it's money. If you don't have any money, you got to spend more time and energy.
Yeah.
If you don't have any time, you can spend more energy and money. If you don't have any energy, you spend time and money. That's when you pay someone else to do it for you.
100%.
And so that's the formula I live, I teach, and it makes my life so much more peaceful.
And I like how you you just fired it off real quick. You know what I'm saying?
I live it.
So if you guys missed that, definitely got to go back. Actually, I'll drop that below.
Okay.
This episode might be called The Magic of Three. If there's more threes, it might be The Magic of Three or
I
something.
think I could come up with something.
Okay. So we touched on what's going on right now.
Okay, yep.
So let's talk.
That's right now.
So let's talk about how you got to Atlanta.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about your path to becoming a professional coach. You know, what made you make that pivot, and what brings us to today?
Okay. So I grew up in Ohio. Shout out to Cincinnati. That's where they made me at. And then I ended up in Kentucky. If y'all don't know the geography there, you could go from Kentucky to Cincinnati for like lunch and make it back to work on time, right? So I realized I'm in a new state, and that was empowering because I'm like, oh, I'm not stuck. What did Jim Rohn say? I'm not a tree.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that was an empowering mindset shift. So then I moved to Tennessee. I lived in Nashville for a little bit. That was life. Shout out to Bill McCleskey down there, My Tech Partners down there in Nashville. Then I ended up in Atlanta. So this is interesting. A lot of people don't know this. I was in Atlanta struggling.
The first time.
The first time.
Yeah.
Panoramic hits. I bounced back to Dayton.
The panorama.
So I did a circle. And then I ran into Dre. I ran into this guy. And they challenged me. They're like, yo, how can you level up? And so I said, well, I can go out of my comfort zone. Oh, how easy for me. Like, I can make a phone call and get almost anything quickly. And it's comfortable. And that's a dangerous place to be if you're trying to, one new skill, change your life.
100%, yeah.
So I'm back in Atlanta. I have a plan this time. Now I got 2 cars. I got a car Turo. Bills are paid on time. That's lovely. And I'm not going to act like I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm not going to teach you to be a millionaire. But what I figured out is if you're consistent, if you're confident,
this is C's, bro.
And you're clear,
Yeah.
there you go. That's 3 C's
You about
for
to
you.
run a webinar on the C's, yo. Watch.
Oh, we are.
Y'all about to see this. Watch.
If you're confident, you're clear,
concise,
and consistent.
compelling.
No, I'm trying to teach the 3 C's. That's a different set of C's. No, that's going to be, we need to make that happen.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this was a lot more smooth transition and it's created more opportunities. Perfect example. Have you ever been to Ohio?
Twice.
Twice. Oh,
You guys got the that amusement park, the straight roller coasters.
Yep.
I've been to Cincinnati once.
Okay.
I've been to Cleveland, Warrenville Heights.
Oh, wow. What are you doing over there?
Yeah, my godmom's moved over there.
Okay.
And godmom's godsister.
The point I'm trying to make is it's much easier for us to connect in Atlanta. It's like a hub. It's like a spoke.
Yeah, I definitely when I went to Ohio.
Nah.
You was out there. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna see you. Where we going?
I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah.
So it's creating a lot of opportunities for you. And are those unique to Atlanta? Is this the only place where opportunities are? No. But there are a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people I admire and respect here. Again, shout out to Vision Avant, my author coach. That's how I ended up in Atlanta again. Next year, it might be Houston. We don't know. As long as I stay uncomfortable, I'm going to keep growing.
Yeah.
What up, y'all? It's Brendan Boyd, and I want to tell you all about the Tmt Wealth Club. Now, this wealth club, it's a mastermind that's going to help you get to the next level. So maybe you want to learn about the rental game. Maybe you want to learn about how to buy businesses. Maybe you want to learn about how to get your personal credit and your business credit structured properly. Maybe you want to learn about business funding. Maybe you want to learn how to actually put a funnel together or why you actually need continuity money. Well, we're going to help you in your business and also give you business accountability to get you to the next level. And every single week, you're going to have access to a different 6, 7, or 8-figure earner to level you up. So what is it to debate, right? What is it to even think about? What you want to do is click that link below, join the Tmt Wealth Club, and get access to this information every single week to level you up and take you to the next level. All right? I'll see you in the group.
So what I don't want them to miss on is the reason why you're here, right? Obviously, you mentioned being uncomfortable, but you realize that there's opportunities here.
Yes.
Right? So again, this is something that we talked about offline, is being in proximity, right? Being in proximity, being in a room. Same reason why I moved to Los Angeles, right? Yep. I wanted to be somewhere that was different. I wanted to be somewhere that was new. I want to be somewhere that I felt uncomfortable because it forced me to then like level up, create a new network, allows your senses to be re-stimulated, which is very important. If you're somewhere and you're not thinking, critically or using your creative brain, if there's no new energy around, you're not going to learn anything, right? Your body can't react to different situations and or moments or like sounds, so you end up not growing. So putting yourself in a whole new environment like Atlanta, at this point in your life, it's forcing you to level up different. It's forcing you to grasp on things different. It's forcing you to run into people different. And then your brain's different.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you were talking again offline, ferocious reader. So now your brain is like taking in information. You're coming into different rooms differently. You're being very intentional about the spaces and places and people that you're interacting with.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's literally why we're in the mastermind.
That's the only reason.
Yep. And cheat code, listen, y'all, I would recommend that you jump in a room, even if it's a virtual room, get into a mastermind. There's a lot of masterminds that are free. There's some masterminds that are really inexpensive, like the one that we're in. Every time that I go there, I feel like I'm robbing because it's literally only $99 a month.
Bro,
you know what I'm
4
saying?
times a week.
Which is crazy.
Who means 4 times a week?
Yo, which is crazy. I'm telling y'all, find a good mentor, find a good mastermind. Just something that you could pop in and pop out. But like I said, I come in and I learn so much information from people like this guy. And then like, Charles, Dre, you know what I'm saying, Don, there's just so many amazing people in there that you can't help but get some drip from. And then they bring guests once a week, which is wild.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, okay, boom. You're in Atlanta now, right? We talked about how you got here.
Yeah.
So what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you scaling? What is this new skills, new you all about? Who are the people you're serving? How can they level up with someone like you helping them? What does that look like?
So when we say one new skill will change your life, we're not talking about going back to school. We're not talking about you got to get married or have kids. We're not even talking about moving to Atlanta. Like, you could be the same person in a different place. You're going to get the same results. What we're talking about is changing how you think and changing how you act in order to get different results. Perfect example. One of my favorite training is hear yes more often.
Yo, yeah, it is pretty fire. I ain't gonna lie. I don't really know Bruce. I didn't know Bruce like that yet. And he did this joint, and I was like, hold up. Let me pay attention.
Y'all should have seen his face.
Bro, let me pay attention. But anyway, go ahead. It was definitely fire.
And so the concept is really simple. Someone wants to tell you yes. And so now we have a shift in belief, mindset, and then we have a shift in mechanics. In my head, if someone wants to tell me yes, I got to give them a chance to tell me yes. I got to ask them for their business. So I say, hey, look, you're a service provider. If you're a coach, consultant, or trainer, you want to hear yes more often without sounding like a salesperson. May I have the privilege of working with you? It's easy. Now, someone says, no, Bruce, I like being told no. Leave me alone. That's fine. I'm not going to convince you. And I don't teach any of my clients to convince anyone. But then someone says, hold on, that sounds kind of nice. I could use some more money, right? I want to add some more value. I want to change some lives. Whatever your motivation is. Yeah. And so I teach them how to hear yes more often. That's one of my favorite trainings because even though I learned it from being a sales professional, it's not about being a sales professional. It's about being a best version of you. One new skill will change your life. And so that's what I'm working on as I'm here in Atlanta, and I got a coach. Watch out for coaches that don't have coaches.
100%.
And they're helping me make sure it's clear, concise, and compelling.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
And so that it's more effective in helping you level up in your life and business. So that's what I'm working on right now, every single day.
If you're someone right now, you want to hear yes more often, hearing yes more often is going to drastically increase someone's ROI.
Yep.
And sometimes, like you mentioned, it's just like a reframing of the mindset.
That's really where it starts. I spend more time on mindset than I do on mechanics. And I didn't realize that when I started this journey.
So someone selling something is directly connected to someone saying yes more often, but you're not selling, you're just presenting.
It really is. You give them an option. Do you want to stay the same? Or do you want this transformation? And that's where the 3 C's come in. We got to make that webinar happen.
I'm trying to tell you.
That's where the 3 C's come in. You got to be clear, concise, and compelling. I got to be clear. Hey, I'm Bruce Hill. I teach sales skills to entrepreneurs. It's got to be concise. That's pretty simple. Because let's say they're not an entrepreneur. It's not going to be compelling to them. They're not going to take action. But they'll say, oh, well, my buddy Brendan is an entrepreneur. Let me introduce you. And they've got to be able to identify who it's for very quickly. So a lot of us, that's just our introduction. A lot of us have this like convoluted answer when they say, what do you do?
That's true.
And they have this complicated response when you say, hey, how can you help me? Well, my answer is really simple. It's clear, concise, and compelling. I'm like, look, I can help you increase your revenue without sounding like a salesperson.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, wait, we need to talk to this Bruce.
That sounds good to me. You're like, listen, you can increase my revenue and I ain't got to sound like a salesperson. And the thing is this, I think it's also, again, mindset, mind framing, right?
It is.
You don't, there's nothing wrong with selling.
No.
There's nothing wrong with selling. There's nothing wrong with presenting an offer. There's nothing wrong with asking someone for a sale. There's nothing negative in that. I think there's a perceived notion that it's bad, but it's not. Like, you're selling right now. Every decision that you're making, you're being sold on it. Whether you're deciding or a commercial influenced you or influencer influenced you, a friend influenced you, family member, parent, you know what I'm saying? Every moment we're making decisions. Well, now we either consciously making those decisions or those decisions are being influenced. It's still a sale.
You're right. So let's define that real quick. You come into my course, come to my programs, you're going to hear me say, sales is the transfer of enthusiasm from one person to another. That's it. And you'll notice on the definition, we haven't even started talking about money yet. That's a byproduct of transferring that enthusiasm. Like, yo, you seen that new movie? Yo, you tried this restaurant? You're like, all right, let's check it out. There's a sale. That's a transaction that happens, even if there's no money that's transacted. So that's the first mindset shift. And one of my first courses, and it's terrible. It's still available, though, because I'm humble.
How much is it?
I'm not humble. Ooh, I don't even know if it's $200, man. It's just there, like... Because it's gold, but I mean, the lighting's bad, the audio's bad.
But you took the imperfect action.
Yes, sir.
You put it out there.
But the gems,
you sold some joints, and it's still packaged. You got some gems in it.
That's why I leave it up.
Yeah.
Because you can watch it. The point I'm getting to is one of the segments in there is sales is service.
Yeah, it is.
And I compare sales to customer service. It's the same thing to me. And then when you shift that focus, you're like, no, you know what? I'm helping people. I hope you are. I don't want to work if you're not. If you're making an improvement to their lives, you're offering a positive transformation, it's selfish of me not to work with you.
100%.
I feel good. I go to bed good, sleep good, because I know each and every person that works with me is a little bit closer to their goals. If they didn't hit them and pass them.
And again, mindset shift, right? Mm-hmm. So again, you're not begging nobody for the sale. You're confident in what you do, clear, concise, compelling. You know that you have value to give and value to exchange, value to help transfer someone so they can get to their goal. Mm-hmm. So what would you be nervous about? What would you be worried about if you know that you have something that can truly, truly help people? So when you have it from that perspective, then it's selfish of you and it's damn right, almost ignorant of you to not present what you know can help change someone's life or their situation. Yeah. Because you may be scared of hearing no or not learning more ways of how you can hear yes more often.
One of my favorite success stories. It was one of my clients, who's a content creation manager. This really works for anyone. You don't have to be, a magical salesperson for this to work. That's what actually makes it work even better if you're not a salesperson. She's a social media manager. And she's like, hey, I don't know how much to charge. So I was like, well, what do you do? So she tells me, I was like, well, how much time is this taking? And it's involved. And she's worked with me, so I know she's fire. I'm like, okay, well, how much are you thinking? She says $1,000 for like a month. And I was like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. I was like, here's what you're going to do. You're going to ask them for $3,000.
Yeah.
And I want you to ask them if they want 2, 3 months, or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And you should have seen her eyes, like big, like $3,000. Oh no. But I'm so proud of her for taking action, because she sends over the proposal and they're like, oh yeah, 3 months automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, what do I do? I was like, send them the invoice.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's still today. And they actually ended up adding some more like services, because they were like, damn, that's it? We get all this value for this price?
Yeah.
And so now she actually touched base with me this Sunday. Whenever y'all watched this, it was 7 days ago. They actually signed a year agreement with her. So now this is a recurring revenue.
So it sounds like she got to raise her price again. That's what it sounds like.
We're going to work with her.
Yeah,
we're going to work with her.
Like.
And so all you have to do, so we can't just make up numbers. I'm not telling you just make up a number, but here's the thing. This is going to be part of the coaching program I was telling you about offline. We have values up here. Your price should be somewhere here. The market, I want you to be higher than the market. I want you to add more value.
Yeah.
I want you to be uncommon.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ari, Unclones. You have? All right, we'll get you here. And at the bottom is the cost. Your cost is your materials, right?
Yeah.
Software, lights, cameras.
Your COGS, bro. Your cost of goods sold, man.
Yeah.
What does it take you to keep this thing moving?
So one of the things I've started teaching is, I'm like, how do we properly price this so that our time is valued and we're attracting clients that want to work with us?
100%.
Man, bro, I'm telling you, I've just been hustling in Atlanta.
Yeah.
No happy hours, no
Focus.
brunches.
Focus.
It's been all in podcasts and workshops.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Talked about the book.
Yep.
Talked about the journey,
Yep.
strategy, how you help people. What I want to talk about right now is another way to help inspire people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that we talked about a couple of days ago, or whenever this is out, it'll be, we talked about it recently, right? I want to talk about how getting in the room or getting within proximity with other people to then raise your own belief level. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about like just the goals, because both of us was challenged this week to raise the goals up, because Charles he was on the Imperfect Action show, and his subject was on 10X. So let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about how your original goal, and then you and I talked about it, and then 10X in that, and what effect did that have on your mindset to now believe that you can you can achieve that?
Okay.
And how that could be scary for some people.
It could be scary.
Yeah.
But let's talk about getting in the room. When we talk about getting in the room, that could be a physical space, that could be a virtual space. Align yourself with people who are pointing you where you want to go. Ideally already there, so you could just follow their footprints. All right. You heard of Roger Bannister?
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite stories. I'll tell the short version.
Marathon joint?
Yes, and he was the first person to break a 4-minute mile.
Yeah, for sure.
So previously, they didn't think it was possible. They didn't think that, your heart would explode, like it can't be done. So he hits it. And I don't even know if it was a week later. Somebody looked this up for me. Somebody else broke. And then by the end of the month, it's in double digits.
Yeah.
And now it's not even, it's impressive, but it's not even such a lofty goal.
Yeah.
Because it's been done.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get in the room. It changes what's possible. I mess around. Shout out to Andre Hatchett, the mobilenotarieschool.com, I believe. Yeah, mobilenotarieschool.com. So we'll give him that plug. He said, I don't think he'll mind. He be talking cash. He was like, I made this much last year. He's like, I need to make $1 million this year. I'm going to make $1 million this year. I'm like, $1 million? I'm trying to do 6 in my business. So I hop on this guy's show and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do $250,000. I'm going to stretch the goals. Here's something. I want you to set unrealistic goals. I'm going to say that. I want you to set unrealistic goals. Don't listen to anyone. Don't set realistic goals. Set unrealistic goals, crazy, big, hairy, audacious goals, and set realistic steps.
Yeah. So
I'm like, I'm going to do 250. That's a stretch goal. But even if I fail, I'll be ahead of where I was. He was like, 250. He got mad at me, y'all. He was like, 250. He was like, no.
This is real. That's real.
No. He was like, we're not doing that. I was like, what you mean? I don't know about you. Like, 250 sound kind of nice. He's like, no, man, we need a 10x that. He was like, hold on. He starts punching numbers on a calculator.
Yeah, this is real.
He was like, you know what? 2.5 million sounds nice. I was like, what do you mean? That sounds nice. He was like, that's the goal. He's like, I don't want to hear any numbers. So this is 2.5. I'm like, hold on. Hey, yo. But here's what happened. I was taking a nap today after my workout. And I woke up like a cartoon, like ding. And I was like, you know what? We're going to put the courses in a package. That's it. We're going to build a community. We can move them into the monthly workshop so they got consistent value. Then we'll do a group coaching program for people who want to hear yes more often and raise their revenue. Then we'll do an accelerator. And all this, I'm trying to keep up, scribbling this down. I'm supposed to be asleep. And these thoughts wouldn't have come to me if I hadn't been challenged on something that's incredibly unrealistic. That is not a reasonable goal, but it's possible. Because you've seen people do it. Mm-hmm. I've seen people do it, and they look like us.
100%, bro. What's
your story? How were you like expanded your mind expanding? Because I know you just had the similar situation.
Yeah. So like we talked offline too about this. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a program that was 2K, yep. And it was really just like it wasn't my main program. Like I was challenged just to make like a lower level entry. Mm-hmm. I did that, and then like one of my coaching peers challenged me again. She was like, "Yo, that's too low." Even though I wasn't even like, this wasn't even something that I was planning on putting out. It just happened. Mm-hmm. She's like, "No, this is too low." She was like, "Yo, it needs to be 5." So I was figuring out how I was gonna do it, and then had an epiphany. But I wouldn't have had that epiphany if she ain't planted that seed, like, how you gonna do it? Right. You should do it, which is something that you just talked about. And then, boom, got it to 5, sold it, got the first person in, like not even 2 hours after I changed the price. But overall, what I realized is like, first of all, you can't get to where you want to go if you don't navigate. If you don't have a navigation, there's no way you can get there. Mm. Like if I'm like you came to meet me here, but I gave it an address. Right. But if I was like, I'm in Atlanta, I'm in this, if I'm in the city, you could get to the city, but just no way you can figure out where I'm at. So that's level 1. So you gotta have to have a goal. Now, once you have to have a goal, Grant Cardone's whole thing was talking about 10X in that goal. So by 10X in that goal, by accident, just in the process, you should hit the previous goal.
Oh yeah.
To get to what the top line goal is going to be. Mm-hmm. So same thing for me. Like somebody challenged me, Charles Todd Capital challenged me. He was like, "Yo, 10X it." I don't even think he was doing it like...
He does it so casually, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if he was doing it directly or indirectly, but...
That's just how he thinks.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So my goal was 2.5 million. So I mean, my goal was 2 million. So I guess it's 20 million now.
It's 20 million now.
So what happened right after that, right? So now your subconscious is thinking. Now you're allowed to be creative again. Now your imagination can do the things that you were designed to do. Mm. And then that will allow you to envision how the impossible can be possible.
Yo, that's crazy. Look, I'm gonna call you right back. Guys, look, I just got the phone with one of my clients. She just told me she just had her first 5K day. But what's crazy about that is she only wanted to make 5K in a month. She did it in a day. There's so many more days left in the month. She's easily gonna have a 20K month. But what about you? Do you wanna make 10K in a month, 20K a month? How about 30K in a month? And what if I told you don't have to do it all by yourself? I will literally help you get there. So look, let me give you some sauce real quick. You only need 4 offers, right? You need a lead generation offer, a continuity offer, a core product offer, and also a high ticket offer. These mix of offers will help you easily get to 5-figure months. So what is there to think about? What is there to even hesitate about? Don't wait, don't hesitate. What you want to do is join my 4-month mentorship. It's called the Authority Builder. We're gonna help you build your brand and also scale your business. So click that link below, man, all right? I'll see you in class.
So for my new entrepreneurs, and I use this term very carefully because you could have been 20 years in your career and only 2 or 3 years as an entrepreneur. Less than 5 years is my sweet spot. Okay. I've helped folks, I helped the financial advisor create digital products. She's been a financial advisor for 20 years. And she paid me happily. Everything, her name just keeps popping up and I just keep adding value.
Yeah.
So what I want to say to them, to everyone, don't pull apart probable and possible. Don't mix those two up, okay? Because it's probable is not the same as is it possible. You just have to look around. Has someone done it? Yes or no? If someone's done it, then it's definitely possible. If no one's done it, it probably still is possible, but let's keep it simple. So has someone made 20 million before?
100%.
Absolutely. So is it possible to make 20 million?
Definitely.
Absolutely. Now, is it probable? That depends on how hard you're willing to work. And not just work, like being busy, but use your mind.
Yeah, strategy.
So this is how I came up with New Skills, New You. So my buddy told me, he was like, yo, Bruce, we're going to read 12 books next year. This was December 2015. I'm like, damn, 12 books. That's a lot of books. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'll try.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? And I looked it up. I'm like, can you read 12 books? Is it possible? Right? I looked it up. The average American reads 0.8 books a year. Okay?
0.8 book. Not even one whole book.
Not even one whole book. That either means they're not finishing a book or it takes them 5 years to read 4 books.
I was gonna say, how does the average American read 0.8 books?
I don't know how they came with that number. So I'm like,
that's crazy.
All you have to do to be above average is read one book.
Read one book.
Remember I told you earlier, read a book, practice small, start small, and get a coach. Remember those are 3 things I told you. You can learn any skill and one new skill will change your life. So I'm like, all right, big. Read 12 books. So I messed around and read 10X Rule. Okay, Greg Cardone.
Yeah.
And then there he says the average CEO reads 60 books a year and attends 6 conferences. I'm like, First thing in my head, I'm too busy to do that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's mindset. And I didn't have a millionaire mindset. At that time, I wanted to be a CEO. Stay with me, because this is how I get to the person that's sitting in front of you. I wanted to be CEO. That was the top dog. Money, power, respect, right? I'm like, I need to do CEO things. I want to be a CEO. So I set the goal. I set an unrealistic goal, right? It's possible. Someone's done it. Is it probable? You don't accidentally read 60 books, all right? You can't mess around. Oh, my God. I read 60 books this year. How about that? No. You have to, what'd you say about the navigation? You got to have a plan.
Yeah, got to have a plan. Got to know where you're going.
So now we understand that goal setting is not the same as goal planning. Average book is about 210 pages. I read about 30 pages in 30 minutes. So I wake up in the morning, 30 minutes, I read 30 pages, 30 times 7 days in a week. Stay with me. 30 times 7 days in a week, that's 210 pages. That's one book. That's 52 books right there. In 30 minutes. You can read 52 books in 30 minutes. So now I'm like, okay, I just got to figure out how to squeeze 8 more in there. And I like hard copies. That's another conversation. But I squeeze in a couple audio books. So now I'm on track to read my 60 books. I'm going to these conferences, and that's a habit that's changed my life. Absolutely.
I would agree with that.
And so now I realize it doesn't matter how probable it is. Actually, did I tell you I messed around and read 73?
Nah.
Because I lost track somewhere.
Yeah.
And I went back at the end of the year. I was like, oh, snap.
which is really dope. I hope y'all paying attention. This is no gas, no puffering. This is like, it's amazing that you did that. And hopefully someone that's watching and listening is inspired by this. And maybe you're just going to read 1, 2, 5 more, 10 more books this year. And maybe, like I said, just read your first one. Because you get so much. It's a cheat code, bro. Reading is a cheat code.
It really is.
It's like you can, for free, you could get information that can make you 1, 5, 10, 20 steps ahead of anyone in your industry or competition.
Mm-hmm.
Or you'll just be a better person.
Both.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of it by just reading.
That changed my life because now I learned there's someone above the CEO. Somebody started the company. And I was like, oh, you can do that? Never occurred to me. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to start a company. What would I do? Where can I add value? Well, I've been selling for 15 years now. And so I'm realized that people are afraid of selling. They don't have the confidence. They don't have the skills. And one new skill will change your life. So I was like, look, I'm going to teach sales skills to entrepreneurs. I'm going to help them be dope, but we're going to do it differently. How can we do it without them sounding like a salesperson? I don't want to put sales in your title. I want to put successful in your title. I want you to be relaxed, at peace, full of joy in your title. And so now I read these books. It made me realize I don't need to focus on what's probable for my goals. I just need to know if it's possible. And then I'll go back. Just like I said, I didn't read 60 books. I read for 30 minutes. So now when we're talking about making 2.5 million, I don't need to make 2.5 million. I just need to figure out how can I automate making 1,000.
Yeah, 100%.
$1,000.
We talked about that. Yeah. So this one kind of goes twofold. Because I'm not saying that you don't have to, but I'm just saying technically you don't have to get better. More people just need to see what you have to offer.
Yep.
Right? Now, if you're getting better, that's cool because you can price it more.
Mm-hmm.
You could add more value. There's a bunch of other things that you can bring to the marketplace by you getting better. But let's just say you don't get better. If you continue to market to the same audience, right, nothing's going to happen in terms of increasing your bottom line. But if you have something of value and you're just not getting better, but you just expose it to more people, by default, you're going to sell more.
Yes.
And grow your audience.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad
Just
you said
imagine if you did both.
That's what I do. One of my favorite stories, back. I was selling cars and I had a 10% conversion rate. That means if I went on 10 test drives, I sold one car. And so I couldn't figure out really how to get past that 10%. And so what I did was I just went on 100 test drives.
Yeah.
And I sold 10 cars.
It's more.
Just what you said, right?
Yep.
I was exactly the same as far as skill level.
Yep.
Check this out. They brought to me a rep. They're like, hey, he needs some help selling more cars. Can you work with him? I'm looking at his numbers. He's converting at 33%.
Yeah, that's wild.
I was like, what? That means every 3 people he got a test drive, one of them bought a car. I'm like, yo, what's going on? This is, if I was his manager, I would have been ecstatic. Like, let's go. And so I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I training him? What's going on? So I'm watching this dude. He would sell a car and he would physically disappear. I think a lot of people misuse the words literally and figuratively. He would literally disappear. I would go looking for him. I'm like, where's this dude? He stopped. He would do the bare minimum and he would stop. Literally stop. That's how the tortoise beat the hare. The tortoise is not faster than the hare.
Yeah.
The hare stopped. And so what I did was, game changer. I watched him. I shot at him for a week. I gave him my feedback. He did nothing different, so he got the same results. I copied him. I got up to 40% close rate.
That's crazy, bro.
Went nuts, but I was still talking to 100 people.
Yeah.
Ended up top 100 nationwide.
That's crazy.
One of them skills will change your life.
That's crazy. So look, man, we talked about the book, which y'all got to grab. The caption's going to be below. So we talked about the book.
Yes, please.
Your journey to Atlanta, how you helping customers, how you leveled up your mindset in terms of like repositioning your goals and how they can do it too.
Yes.
Now I want to hit you with like a quick little strike, little round situation. That's cool?
Let's go.
We can do that? All right. I feel like I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
You do?
If you were about to open up the Bruce Hill School, you know what I'm saying? New skill, new you school. What are like 3 things? We're back on the 3s. What are 3 things that they would need to learn there?
Man, I teach you to ask better questions. I teach you to listen, and I teach confidence.
Okay, cool.
Confidence is a skill. That'll change your life.
What is emotional intelligence to you?
Emotional intelligence is like 4 quadrants. We broke the 3.
Yeah.
It's how I manage myself. It's how I manage my interactions with others. It's how I understand others and how I navigate those relationships externally. So they're real subtle. They do overlap. So emotional intelligence to me is understanding how I feel, what I feel, and why I feel that way.
Yo, that's really a good answer. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, sir.
You got a dictionary in here?
I do, actually. You don't read 243 books and not get a little smarter.
That's 100% correct. So since you read that many books, right?
Yep.
What are like 2 or 3 that you would recommend that they should definitely pay attention to?
Okay, before I make those recommendations, turning pages is a waste of time. Don't be reading books and be the same. Take what you learn and do 2 things with it. Go try it and then go teach it. All right? That's the secret. It helps improve my memory, which is why I could tell you excerpts from almost every book I've read, unless I just didn't like it. And that's also where I can add more value to you. If you ever work with me, I got you. So the first book, I would be remiss. All gas, no breaks.
Links below, guys. Links below.
I just love this, man. Like this.
Yo, you look like a real author, bro.
Like me, bro.
Yeah, you look like a real author. You know what I'm saying? Yo, keep it up for the people. Keep it up for the people. Yeah.
We like
prop it right here. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
So All Gas No Breaks, that's my first published book. It's got an ISBN number. It's official. Again, shout out to Vision Avant. If you need a connection, just hit me up. New Skills, New You. I'll definitely make the introduction. So that's number 1. And I'm trying to think because there's so many great books. So I want to shout out to Ash Cash. Mind Right.
Yeah, shout out Ash Cash because I'm going to be on your podcast 100%.
Yes, that's I've learned so much from that gentleman. Mind Right, Money Right.
Mind Right, Money Right by Ash Cash.
Yeah. That was a huge shift for me when he talked about abundance being your birthright.
Yeah. He says that a lot.
Now your goals aren't so lofty. You know, we talked about them being possible versus probable.
Yeah.
That was huge. And I do like to shout out to Black authors. One of my favorite books, man, should we say Think and Grow Rich or Good to Great?
Think and Grow Rich is a classic, bro.
It is a classic.
It's a classic. I think everybody should read that for sure.
All right. So we'll say Think and Grow Rich. I read that literally every year.
Yeah, that's a great book. It's definitely a great book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So you got Ask Cash's book. What was it called again?
Mind Right, Life Right.
Mind Right, Life Right.
Mm-hmm.
All gas, no brakes.
Yep, that's what's true.
Think and Grow Rich.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
If you don't read anything else this year, you read those 3 books, you will not look the same next year.
All right, what's one thing you're going to do to guarantee that you're going to level up this year?
Just one thing?
Just one thing, not 3, just one.
I'm going to tell more people about New Skills, New You.
100%.
That's really where I'm at right now. I've had so many success stories. I mean, just think about, what we've talked about, what you learned from me, that content creator, financial advisors, the caterer. I think she's in your group.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I got it down where I can help all these people, all these different entrepreneurs. So you're like, is this for me? If you offer a service, absolutely reach out. New Skills, New You. Let's see, what's the best way they can get in touch with me? I should probably have this ready.
Yeah, tell the people.
Remember I told you if I started school, I would say asking better questions, listening, and confidence. Go to askingbetterquestions.com.
That's a great segue.
Askingbetterquestions.com. And here's what I want to do for you. This is for anyone, but especially for my entrepreneurs. I want to teach you how to ask better questions because you're going to get better answers. And that's one of the main pillars I teach on Hearing Yes More Often. All right? AskingBetterQuestionsPlural.com. It's a free download. It's no charge. But don't just download it and then pat yourself on the back. Download, read them, and go try them out. The one thing that I'm doing, and I teach this, I practice everything I preach. If you want to hear yes more often and you don't do anything else different, the skill level, if you just tell more people, you give more people the chance to tell you yes.
That's what we talked about.
So that's what I'm doing all this year. I'm hopping on podcasts. I'm running webinars. I'm doing workshops. I'm on Clubhouse. I'm networking, like ubiquitous.
So look, guys, you already know. New Skills, New You. My guy, Bruce Hill. Listen, if you didn't get it, you're going to hear it.
I mean, what was that dude's name again?
New Skills, New You. I don't know what his name was, but he kept saying New Skills, New You. So listen, if you want to learn the power of getting your people to say yes more often, if you want to be positioned better in the marketplace, change your mindset around sales. Definitely tap into my brother right now. You know what I'm saying? His information is going to be below. This is another episode of the On Pursuit Podcast, where what we do is, we bring entrepreneurs, movers, and shakers on the platform. Those are making an impact in the marketplace so you can learn more, and then you can take that information and then you can put it into your own business, into your own life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm Brendan. This is Bruce Hill.
Yes, sir.
See you guys on another episode. Peace.